Good morning. My name is Kelly Bowker, and I am sharing with you today. Welcome to my channel, by the way, Present Moment Magic. And I would love it if you would subscribe. This channel is all about the expansion and the journey that I'm on, and that people are kind of coming with me. Um, it's a beautiful undertaking, and I just wanted to share with people something that I'm doing that I think would be a great part of learning for people like me that are on this journey, that are trying to figure things out. How does this stuff happen? How do we make the connection? How do we create our own reality? How? This following video is it is something that I'm doing. I'm getting together with this particular one has three other individuals. It is a man and his wife and his mom, and we get together with an intention to help me facilitate my expansion, because what we're practicing in this video partially is how far out in my consciousness can I get and still channel the answers to questions. We're kind of wondering if there's going to come a time when I may pop out, and then it would be what would be called trance channeling. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but it feels like it might, because my experience is getting different all the time. I'm going to tell you this is a very vulnerable video for me to share, because within it, you are going to see me shifting in and out of different entities. There's a point where I channel Mother Earth and she identifies herself. There's a point when I channel a different entity named Jacob, who also identifies themselves. And then you also, I'm going to just bring to your attention to be aware. Watch me, watch the change in the energy of my voice, my facial expressions, how my mouth moves. When that's happening, the experience on the inside, I can feel the different energies coming in. They sometimes identify themselves, they sometimes don't. But this is new within the last month and a half. And I haven't shared it with anybody yet, because it's been kind of freaky and I had to kind of wrap my brain around it. But this is where things are going. And this is a long video, and I know not all of you will be able to, put the time in for the whole thing, but I decided to put the whole thing out there because I know there are some of you who are really trying to develop this within yourself. And honestly, I'm going to tell you that even if you sit down to it over a few days, there are real nuggets of awakening throughout this whole thing. There's a lot of wonderful information brought through from the guides, but even in the conversation between Graham and Sylvia and Jeannie and myself, we're sharing with each other and we're bouncing our energy off each other. And, the Bible says when two or more are gathered together, there too am I. And when I gather with people, I can tell you that the energy is so much more, it is so much more powerful. And the way that it flows is just wonderful and incredible. So I invite you on to this journey with me. Um, I, I, I don't know what to say other than there are parts of it that are out there. I am sharing a lot. And so take what resonates with you, what makes sense to you, and leave the rest. And this is just a really, really good example of what my life has been over this last year and a half and how this awakening has taken place. You're going to see some really, raw and vulnerable stuff. So I hope you enjoy it. Comment, ask questions. If you put questions underneath it, I will make sure that they get asked in the next Monday session, because I'm feeling that this is going to be a new thing. The other thing I will put out there is I could potentially, these guys are the Jerry to my Esther Hicks, if you're familiar with Jerry and Esther. I don't have these questions. I've never had those questions, these big questions about how the world works and the universe and creation and all that. And these three individuals all have a different perspective, but they do have questions. And so yeah, I just wanted to say that because the questions bring the energy that is for the answer of the question. And it is a much more dramatic experience within me when I just watched that video. I'm like, that looks pretty calm. Inside, I am flying. Inside, my experience is like I'm in this lots of the time, not all the time, but when I'm in those channeling times, and I think the most altered I was when my voice got very, very kind of quiet, and my hands were kind of doing this because I could feel I was just moving. My consciousness was just doing this beautiful, beautiful. I don't even know how to explain it. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's not too much, doesn't scare anybody off, but it's the truth. It's my reality. And so blessings to all of you. Subscribe to my channel. That would be great. If you want to make a one-to-one appointment with me, in the information below, there's the link. And also you can friend me on my Facebook page, Kelly Belker Medium, on Facebook. Like my page, and that's where I put when I'm going to put out, I'm considering putting out an invitation to one of the Monday sessions and just see what that would look like. I'm considering that. So if it's something that you're interested in, connect, and blessings on your day. Bye-bye. Noisy. So
Okay.
one of the things that I wrote down was,
Yeah.
it is the level that you are in that determines your perspective. We choose this life experience. That sentence right there is what came through. When I heard that, the visual that I got when we were together last week, the visual that I got came just whooshing into my head. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's it. So I'll just read it again. So it says perspectives, and I put in parentheses because what they have given me is fractals, perspectives, fractals about past lives, karma, reincarnation. I even think pre-birth experience, all that stuff, all of that stuff. It is the level that you are in that determines your perspective. We choose this life experience. You may have chose unpleasant experience in the past lives, but no one chooses that experience in this incarnation. What that said to me, that answered a huge question that I have battled with ever since I started to understand the law of attraction. I battled with the thing that I've said to Graham multiple times about being so evolved and so connected to source that even if you see the hole in the boat, or even if you get the cancer diagnosis, or the awful thing happens in your family, any of those things happening, it doesn't take very long for you to come back to center and know that this is all working for the highest good. Do I believe that to be a truth? I absolutely do. What this gave me was another step above that. Was that, yes, is all of that true? Absolutely. But is there a reality where none of that is needed? Yes. Where none of it is needed, where I don't have to participate on this plane of experience. I don't have to participate in anyone else's growth. And my human has got it figured out. My human has the perspective of knowing, so there's no longer the need for the life experiences to teach and give us the experiences and the expansion and the blah, da, da, blah, da, da, blah. It's when that's shifting into fifth dimension. Third and fourth, we need the experiences. We are learning through our experiences. We are evolving through our experiences. We are gaining our connection to source energy. We are learning what it feels like to be connected and not connected. We're learning to consciously, deliberately connect and to evoke that power. That is, we've been bouncing between third and fourth. Third, honey, Sylvie, third is when you are pulled into that feeling of disconnect. Fourth, you realize it's there. And you were doing that second by second. It's like, woof, woof, woof. That's just exactly what it is. That's happening second by second. Now what we're doing is we're doing this. Every once in a while, we're kicking ourselves into fifth dimension. And we have that moment of knowing the big picture, knowing the perspective that it's all working out exactly the way it's supposed to be. I didn't have my Kelly human didn't have the permission until Sarah brought this through in this download that she brought through. I didn't have permission, and that's the way I'm going to word that, to raise out of the experience. Because my head would say, but what if? Like when I would sink into that beautiful creative space that Joe Dispenza describes, and I would feel that creative, powerful, all the potentials, that I've described. When I would be in that energy, I would have this little stupid voice back here that would be like, you can't know that Mike and you are going to grow until 90, because what if there's something you're supposed to learn by his death now? What if there's something you're supposed to learn by X and Y happening? And what she said, if you remember, she said, the pre-birth experiences are real when they are real, and they are not when they are not. And I know that's a lot, but that's the knowing that I got. I mean, it was just amazing. I was on friggin' crack when I was going through this. Does that make any sense?
I, let me, okay, so it's saying the pre-birth experience, that's
Agreement.
before we're here,
Yep. And we make
is
agreement,
present until it's not.
right?
Is
So,
that okay?
so we're going to come into human form.
Yeah.
Some pre-birth agreements, potentially remembering everything's happening now, happen. According to the evolution of your human, those agreements are going to play out because they're needed.
Right.
But if the human is able to quantum jump, level up, shift to more of the fifth dimension perspective, that's what this time in history is about, is us collectively raising our frequency and shining this light and we're pulling people into our boat, is what it is. We're radiating a magnetic force. If we are able to rise above the need for the experiences, then we can let go of all of that.
So the pre-birth, um, calling on experiences in order to raise frequency, those experiences are no longer needed when you're in
The
that
fifth dimension,
perfect state.
when you're
So
in
basically,
the
the fifth dimension, as I understood it, the fifth dimension is the energy of love and
The fifth dimension
Working on it.
is the space. Oh, she gave a beautiful thing. Give me a minute. Basically, oh, wait a minute. In the fifth dimension, your experience comes from inspiration. Light guides the way. Focus on what brings you joy. That is the fifth. Is we're going to live. We are living. We are all having moments of fifth dimension experience.
Mhm.
We're
Can you
vacillating.
repeat that? Can you repeat what you said? The fifth dimension is.
Fifth dimension, you experience inspiration instead of motivation. You experience inspiration. Light guides the way, and we focus on what brings us joy. And that's that creative process. Third dimension is effort, forcing, wanting more. And then she describes the fourth dimension. That was back at the beginning of the one. The way it came through for me was the fourth dimension is the dimension when we're learning about self-love. We're learning about how to manage the ego. We're learning, third dimension is the human experience not connected. That's third dimension experience. Fourth, and we all have moments of that, include me. Fourth dimension is that time of awakening. It's when we're beginning to feel that there's more. We know that there's more. We're learning we're healing and transforming as much as we need to, so that we can break away. I feel like I see this holding, and in the fourth dimension, we're breaking these ties to the degree that we have to, until finally the force pulls us up, and that doesn't. Uh-oh, did I lose you? Are you guys not there?
We're here.
Oh, all of a sudden you guys just disappeared.
You sound funny,
So
but
then
you're
the fifth, do I? Hello, testing.
okay, good.
But that, that is the object of the game. I'm going to state this again, because the most powerful thing that I got out of it, they told me months ago that there is no reality that's not true. Think of what that means. Let's not just float across that as like, oh yeah, but that means that person that believes in heaven and hell are their truth. That is the experience that they're going to, until they don't need to. Now, I don't know all the nuts and bolts of that, but that is going to be part of their experience. What we believe is our reality. What we know is our truth. There is no one truth. We are creating it. It's that big video game that we talk about. It's that whole hologram of blah, 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 So all of it is true. So to go back again, I would short circuit my creative ability by, but what if that's not for my highest good? What if there's already a plan that I'm supposed to do X, Y, and Z? What if blah, blah, blah? You see what I mean? That would short circuit me. What she said, what her team said was, none of that is absolutely true when you believe that it is absolutely true. And when you know that it's not, and you can feel that it's not, that you can vibrate in the energy that part is no longer true for you, that's the next tiny little step that as we are evolving, that's the next level up. And that is closer and closer to that fifth dimension understanding, the fifth dimension understanding that nothing can affect us. It really is that knowing that we do have that power, that if we believe it, if we can see it and believe it and feel it, we can have it.
Something sorry, I was going to say something that was coming through a little last night that was a good reminder for me was the power of imagination.
Mm.
And that when we're young and we, bring something to someone, they go, oh, that's just your imagination. It's just your imagination. But in the mind of an older, more mature person, their imagination creates a 9 to 5 reality and creates mundane, boring, that's still imagination.
Right.
It's just not a very fun one.
We,
But
we
we
see,
still have to
we,
imagine it.
that's right, we see our reality. So it's that night before. Okay, so think about my second book. This was just so much validation for what was in my second book. They said that feeling, that night before Christmas feeling,
Mm.
when you have no idea in the world of what's going to come. You have no idea the possibility. What could Santa bring? It could be anything. It could be anything. And it could be something so much bigger than what I could even dream. I can picture the Barbie doll dream house, but what if there's something bigger? What if there's something more? And that's the energy. What can the universe dream up for me that's going to be the most perfect unfolding of this day, of this moment, of this existence? And they have already trained me to be in this moment, not thinking of all the different things that are going to come along, but in this moment. And so there are the things in life that are like, I've got my thing tomorrow. So there's some human nuts and bolts day to day. I ought to pick up my house before people come. I want to have the food ready, but it's all I'm working at. I'm not there in this particular thing because I will get like a little bit of nervousness about it. And then I just give a big dousing of it's going to be the greatest thing. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be the next logical step. And I just drown it in that energy that these angels are coming to me. These ladies who are coming are angels in my world, and they're coming to me, and we are going to share our hearts and our spirituality, and we're all going to grow, and it's going to be the most beautiful thing. And so then later on in my day today, it's the difference between, oh my God, I got to get that quinoa salad made. I want it to be perfect. I want it to be right. I've got to, what if I don't have the right dishes? What if my silverware don't match? And no, fuck all that. Nope, don't care about any of it. Bring my angels to my house. I'm going to give them some good food. We're going to share some wonderful experience. It is all the same experience. It is the different perspective of it. That is the difference. And when I just started to realize like things, well, if I were in the stage of life that Graham and Sylvia were in, you are in that stage of life where we have to, in some way, earn money to pay bills because we want to feed our children and we want them to go to bed warm and cozy, right? So there has to be something. But we have one picture of what that could be. Picture, expand your mind to the idea of abundance. The idea of you don't have any, my God, you guys, I couldn't have dreamed up the different ways in this moment in time that money comes to me.
Yeah.
10 years ago, I would never have been able, 10 years ago, I would never have been able to have said, I'm going to have a time when I'm going to have this amount of money that's going to come into my house monthly with almost zero effort. And it comes. The universe can figure it out. Follow the breadcrumbs and be waiting. I don't know if you guys
I know.
What'd you say, Sylvia? I didn't get
I
it.
love that. I need to figure out waiting for the breadcrumbs, but being in the right. It's all about where you are here first, because
Exactly.
that's what you bring to.
0% expectation, 100% anticipation.
Sure. Yes.
I put that's my header now on my YouTube channel.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
Yeah, I changed it. 0% and expectation. No expectations, because I can't think up anything as good as what the universe can think up.
Mhm.
I have no idea. You know, one of these friends, this lady that I met, who this is a whole thing. This is a question I want you to ask when we shift.
Okay. I'm here.
Is there anything that they want to talk to me about CAS? CASS about
Okay.
CAS?
Got it.
Some strange stuff, some different stuff, but I'm trying to be open-minded and open-hearted. But she said the words to me, "You are creating a business." And I said, no, I'm not. She goes, and that's just how I said it to her. She goes, "Oh no, you're creating a business." And I went, no, not. I'm not creating a business. I'm experiencing my spiritual journey.
Mhm.
And however that unfolds is how it's going to unfold. And I am getting every minute, I'm closer and closer to that, knowing that every day it's more. Every day it's more. Every day my experiences are more. Who can ask for more than that? To have your world expanding daily. I mean, that's what's happening right now. This whole thing was sound. What a blessing that is, you guys. I mean, I am doing laundry, toning my chakras because of how it feels. The connection that it's giving me is incredible. It's like it's turning the burner of my spiritual connection up every time I do it. And I think it will for anybody who does it. It is.
What are you doing specifically?
Say it again.
What are you doing specifically?
I'm toning
Yes.
the chakra system. They've led me, it was a breadcrumb trail that they led me to this list of sounds that are associated with the chakras.
Right. You said, okay. Yes.
It's like the different vowel sounds. And I'm gonna, let's just do that together.
I'll do that with.
Okay, so now let's do it. Let's take a breath and let's do let's clear our space. Let's start with clearing our space. So just take a big breath and picture just some nice swirly light in the room, just swirling and gathering up any energy that doesn't serve us. Just swirling, 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 having it go right down to Mother Earth, bringing all that doesn't serve us right down to Mother Earth to be transformed into beautiful stuff. Connecting the energy to the heavens. Knowing that when our energy travels up, it is releasing what doesn't serve us. It is gathering what we need and transforming what can be transformed. Same thing, traveling in energy down to Mother Earth, connecting to Mother Earth. Same three things are happening. All that cycle is going all the time. Connecting our hearts with our like intention and thanking our guides and our angels for supporting us in this time, knowing you are right here with us all, knowing you are enjoying this journey that we are on as we bring our energies together and lift each other up. We set our intention for love and light, for our personal expansion, for truth and trust. Allowing our minds to be open to learn what we need to learn. So let us settle into the tones that with our intention, we are creating a ball of colored light. And that light is going out in all directions, traveling, connecting, moving to the degree in the chakra that is needed, because you do collect things and blockages and disruptions can happen within the energy flow. So when you are bringing your mind and your intention and your knowing through the chakra system, you are giving it what it needs, for lack of a better term, for your highest good, your highest health, your highest well-being, your highest evolution and support on your spiritual path and your physical path. So we'll start with the root chakra. The root chakra and the sound is, what is it? I can't think. Cup. Do that again. They're telling me that to share that when I do this for my personal experience, I do the sound until I'm ready to move to the next one. The angel will guide you to repeat the vibration as many times for the best, the highest good. So we are in our minds when we say the sound, if you can bring the name of your angel into your mind. So we're now going to go to the sacral chakra, which is orange, and the sound is ooh, and the angel is Daniel, Angel Daniel. Excuse me. The next angel is Cassiel. The color is yellow. The sound is oh, let go. Oh. 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 The next angel is Angel Faith, the angel of the heart chakra. And the sound is awe, and the color is green. Oh. The angel of the throat chakra is Celestina. The color is blue. She is the sound of I. angel of the third eye is angel Gabriel. The color is indigo and the sound is A. And the angel of the seventh chakra is Angel Raphael. Color is violet, and the sound is me. The violet flame. And we thank Angel Ariel, who is the beautiful pure white, and Angel Michael, who is absorbing all the color into black. And we know they are supporting us in our journey as well. Ai Aum, Ai Ae, Ayo Yumokaya Riakomo, Oyaka Yara Mokiara, Ayakomo, Iaiuau, Iau, Ia, O, Ie, Au, Ia, Ai, Au. Ara como oria na kari, a kata ara como turi ni ang karamono no ona ma ana manina o mana ani niona maniana niana mia ani niana niono no. The angels dance on the song, Kelly. Ayanio no koria maniana no. Each human has within them their own song, their own connected song between earth and the cosmos. Arioka a, ayarioko oya manya koya ma ayati. We show you the dancing natives around the fire you have seen so many times. Their feet on Mother Earth, their bodies moving in abandon as they move their body with the sounds, and the sounds come forth from Mother Earth to Mother Earth, through Mother Earth, through to the sky, to the sun, to the heavens, to the stars, singing the energy of the cosmos, bringing it through on that beautiful vibrational sound. You are, dear one, creating a pathway for those who want that connection. Encourage the sound, encourage the abandon, the surrender that comes from allowing the vibration to lift from your heart without judgment, without it being right, without any kind of getting into your head about it. The sound can just come forth. Ai-ya, eh, ai-ya, oh, ai, ah, oh, ah, oh. You You feel the energy as it rolls through your body. That is the beautiful energy of the all. The frequency is another path, dear one. Oh, you let the angels sing through you. They will bring the tone that is the right tone. There are many more than what you are learning at this time. Do not conform the sound. Allow the sound to come up from Mother Earth, up from Mother Earth as you sing my song into the cosmos. You can feel the swell of energy coming and raising through and expanding out. Arikiro motorukumaya. Have your questions now, dear ones. Let us have our conversation as we also look forward to this time of gathering and intellectual expansion weaving its way on your spirituality.
Thank you. My first question regarding frequency has to do with something that us humans call the Schumann resonance. So, in the news, I'll call it, there's been talk of the Schumann resonance increasing, which we've been told is Mother Earth's resonance changing. Can you speak to that?
You spoke of this last week, dear one. This one questions if she's jumped timelines. It is an interesting take, is it not, the possibility? But we took this one to a video that sang the frequency that you describe, the Schumann resonance, that the humans have named it. Yes, of course, Mother Earth has her frequency that is ever changing, exactly as the human is ever changing, as each cell within your body is ever changing. Yes, absolutely. When she put on a video and put her AirPods in and listened to the toning frequency, and then there was a tones with music representation of that same thing. She experienced an incredible shifting and blending and melding with Mother Earth. It was a very beautiful experience. So it is a symphony, dear ones, as all of the cells within Mother Earth, and we speak as Mother Earth in this moment. All of you, dear ones, are my cells. All of you, there are so many that are raising your own internal vibration, that your base vibration is indeed changing. Your own frequency is changing. And it is just exactly like when Kelly sings to the cells of her body with her intention. She's done this only several times, but she feels her body changing when she does it. When she sings the frequency of the chakra system, and she feels her awakening, her blossoming, changing, her knowing, expanding. That is exactly the same as I am singing my frequency, calling all of you to harmonize and create the symphony that is raising us all. It is a magnificent undertaking, and it is glorious from my perspective. If only those with the great love for me could release their perspective of the negative effects that are going on in the world on Mother Earth, and you see it as negative experiences, and that might be part of the truth. But what we are wanting you, calling you to understand is that it is also the way the human skin sloughs off and the human body undergoes its changes. So does the body of Mother Earth. It is all happening exactly as it is intended. There is nothing going wrong. If the focus could be on love without judgment, without the judgment of that one who threw away the plastic bottle and did not do the recycling as one would wish from this over here perspective, not ours. But there are these understandings and these perspectives that create judgment. When you judge another's action, it is pulling you away from your higher self. No action is not correct. You find the trick within yourself that allows you to have that perspective of allowing, of seeing the perfection. This one has begun to refer to those outside of herself as her angels. And even when the reality of that human situation pops into her awareness, she bathes it in the light and the knowing and the frequency of calling her precious angel, who's bringing her more gifts of practice. And she's acknowledging it and blessing it and thankful for it. In those times when she can find the energy of that, she knows that that is going away. When she is in the energy of the judgment, she knows she's creating more of it. This is the greatest knowing for your evolution on this path. When you look to the left and the right without judgment, knowing every cell of my body is doing exactly as it should for the evolution of the timeline and dimension and experience that it is on, it is absolutely perfection. Kelly is remembering when Sarah's team spoke the words multidimensional beings. And that is an important understanding of this time, this moment, that you are multidimensional. You are experiencing in multi-dimensions at the same time. When you feel that expansive love and allowing, that is when you get that fifth dimension perspective. We talk in words that you can understand. This is bringing you along. So to really sum up, to recap, as she would love to say, to bring it to the nuts and bolts, there is no being that does not have its own frequency. Every drop of water and grain of sand within me has its own frequency, in the same way that every cell in your body, the smaller atom molecules within your body has their own frequency, and they are all working to raise, expand, grow, whatever the human mind can understand in this moment.
Thank you for clarifying. It sounds as if you're saying that because humans are raising their vibration, that could be raising or changing the human resonance, which I really appreciate, because that means there's a lot of people doing their work and sloughing off the 3D as much as they can. So that's awesome. I
We will interrupt you
Mhm.
because we would just with love point out that the 3D needs to just be allowed, not pushed against, not judged in any way. The 3D, if you can see the beam of light coming out from the sun, it is this beam over here that is perfection in itself. There is those timelines and those dimensions and those incarnations that are experiencing what is for their highest good within the 3D dimension. You, dear one, and this dear one, and so very, very many dear ones have done their work within that dimension, and now with gratitude and blessing and thankfulness for the 3D experience, because without it, you would not have the underpinning to go on. That is the perspective to see the third dimension, with gratitude and love. And when you see those acting out their roles within the third dimension, that is the perspective to have.
Thank you for reminding us of working on what judgment means. I have a question about someone.
This one is experiencing a distance between her and her physical body, becoming more and more comfortable. To answer the question, we would say that there is all of it within any given moment. This one is seeing the vastness of time and the timelines and incarnations and the knowing of all is going on now. And she is vacillating between experiences in this moment, which has been her intention. When you consider that it is all real and all now, you take the birth of the new one. Every new one is brought forth with the potential of it all in any one lifetime. It is all there. to be remembered. One perspective or truth or understanding could be and is that for some, many lifetimes are required with the evolution of this time, space, moment, with the dances on the outer aspect of her consciousness. It is all possible in every incarnation. And it is also possible that it can take infinite incarnations. Both are truth. Did that answer?
Why would someone choose one over the other? Is it just for learning?
For the dance, dear one. For
Okay.
the dance.
My question is how I'm understanding the unfolding of everything and everything being here at once is like a completed book already written. And as we're living through life, we're just reading the book, but the book's already there. So I'm wondering, as this unfolds, is every soul here now all the same souls that have been since the first incarnations here? Or we kind of just keep recycling into this moment?
Remember, dear one, that we are all one. That knowing is the answer to that question. We would speak about your idea of the book. There is an inherent, we do not like the word flaw, but understanding there that we would like to shine a light upon. There is the feeling that the book is already written. Every moment in time, the book is brand new. You are correct in that in every moment in time, there is a complete timeline that is the resonant timeline for this moment. And if you were to continue in this vibration exactly as it is right now, that is how it would play out. That is not the human experience. You're going to navigate and fluctuate, and the timeline will shift. So, would it be possible to be born, to have the pre-birth experience, let us just say, of cancer in your 70s is going to be part of your life experience that you've agreed to. And there may be doctors, there may be loved ones, there may be players in this play that are going to be part of that experience. But on your journey, you awaken to more and more knowings with these things. These were part of the agreement. These experiences were part as well. But with each of those experiences, a bigger jump of energy happened and a bigger understanding happened. And so you are able to bypass, shall we say, some of these kinds of experiences. So it is all true and it is all not true. And that is the conundrum for the human brain.
It is a conundrum. If you're saying that we are all one, we also know that we are all seemingly individuals in our own human bodies. What is the point of it if we're only putting on a suit to be individuals here, but we're bringing back all the information to the same source computer, so to speak? It kind of, I guess that we're humans and it's hard to understand it, but sometimes I feel like humans are just mining. We're little miners for experiences to bring back to the source. But the source, if we're all source anyway, it just gets a bit confusing. Are you able to extrapolate a question out of my confusion?
And they're saying, describe what I'm seeing. As you were talking, I was seeing all of these spirals coming out from the center of a mass of energy, just all these spirals coming out. When the energy is shifting for this answer, the all. First, we will say that the human can only understand to the degree that the human can understand, and that we give you these explanations trying to dust off the path for you. So this is what we would offer at this time. If you could imagine the all being itself in perfection, how would expansion occur? This is the leading edge of expansion. Consciousness needs expansion. It is more than your human brains are going to wrap around to go back to the first moment. And it is not, the understanding is not needed. What you can settle your understanding into is that through an extension of oneself coming out and growing and energy coming back and this becoming more, and then this energy going out and this coming back and this becoming more. That is the simplest way that we can explain what it is you're asking.
Can
You will know when you transition. A great part of you knows already, dear one. The human can get themselves very confused. And if you think about your linear time and the agreement that you had, there is truly much more valuable ways to spend your experience than trying to figure that piece out. Because suffice it to say, it is for growth, the growth of the all. We welcome all questions. We are not in any way judging your question, but we will bring you back to the present moment. How much power, how much energy, how much conscious creation and connection can you experience in this present moment? That is where your energy and focus would be best suited. That is why we have harped at this one from the very beginning, working on her perspectives and perceptions of reality, her judgments within this moment. One of the very first interactions we had with her, we talked with her about the bum on the street. And we use that in this moment as an example as well. Because how is the energy of the present moment being used? Is it being used to love? Is it being used to connect and to expand and to have joy and to revel? That is the power of the present moment. It is not wrong to look at tomorrow, because that is all judgment. It is not wrong to look at yesterday again, all judgment. But the power that we are trying to explain and give you a working grasp of is the power of the present moment. How can you affect your vibrational output in this moment that is going to collapse the timeline of awareness and of knowing and of evolution to you or you or you or you in this present moment?
And so, as we've said, the goal is to, as much as possible, let go of judgment and live as much as you can in your heart. And that, would that be a good example of the present moment?
Exactly. Exactly. That
Mhm.
your judgment of the isness of the present moment puts roadblocks in the expansion and the creation. If you can revel in the isness of what is, this is what we've been trying, not quite successfully, to get through, Kelly, when she has been saying that the object of the game was to be X, Y, and Z. The object of the game is to be aware of the present moment, to be able to see all aspects of what is in your reality with absolute acceptance, allowing, love, and knowing that it is but a tiny thread of the creation that you are making. That there is nothing between your reality and any reality that you can dream. There's nothing between it other than your judgment of the reality of the present moment. So when you bask in the isness of it, it is opening the floodgates of creation, and there's nothing that can't come to you in this life experience. And then you're the beacon. Then you are the light on this earth and drawing each people in. You have that frequency, as is Kelly's experience of bringing in she calls it her tribe, and each one in the tribe will shine their light and bring in. And that is going right back to the question about the frequency of Mother Earth. This is it. This is the key. This is the recipe for creation. But the piece that Kelly just brought in to the mix in her mind is when we talk about, okay, too much coming too fast. Yeah, not sure where we're going. Just a big wave came over right then. Give me just a minute. Can you repeat what you said last, Sylvia?
What was I asking? Oh gosh. Uh,
I got it, just a minute. Give me just a minute.
sorry, I can't believe I forgot.
Oh, it's coming. Give me just a minute.
Okay, okay.
When Kelly heard Sarah's guides say that the fourth dimension was the transformational dimension, there was some judgment that she felt from that, in that one thing is better than the other thing. That is, again, that human construct that gets going, that short circuits everything. None of the dimensions are better or worse, they just are. When Kelly heard that, she asked us, does that mean she's not supposed to teach the inner child work anymore? Does that mean she's not supposed to teach self-love and self-care? And we say to that a resounding no, of course, it doesn't mean that, because she may be in, that isn't right. We are coaxing her and she is hearing us, bringing her to the next level of knowing, where there's not going to be so much of that kind of experience for her human, for Kelly, but that there are many on this huge, massive fractals of beingness. There are many that are along that, as it is intended, as it is supposed to be, as it is perfection for each individual, that the resonance of the inner child work and the work of self-care, we don't like that word work, but we understand her using it. That understanding is what is going to bring many, 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 many people to the place where they are within the vibration of being able to get sucked, so to speak, into this next level of knowing. It is all about frequency and the magneticness and attractiveness of things, pulling, drawing to each other, the liking, attracting like. That is the resonance, exactly as we've spoken it through her, for what we would even call the majority of the planet at this moment. The majority of the planet is healing itself for the first time, is within the vibrational knowingness of their ability to release anything that has happened in the past and no longer be affected by it. That is what we are teaching through her for those that need it, and do not judge the need of it. There will come the day that Kelly will need it again. And she needed it this week. This is part of the process. If you can have your segues as you vibrate in deep into the third and in through the fourth and up to the fifth and down again, if you can have those experiences and realizing them quicker each time, okay, yes, that was a 3D experience. I see that. I see that. Okay. But this is where I'm vibrating now. And that effect on the present moment is the consciousness that creates your reality.
Thank you for that answer. We were talking to Kelly, and she was quoting something that she had read. And part of it was that the words used were talking about your magnificent human, as in each one of us has our soul or higher being. And then the words your magnificent human, I feel might have made a little sticking point. I was wondering if you could clarify if that has anything that we need to know about that phrasing.
Yes, we thank you for that question. We have been wanting to address this issue. This one experiences the temperature change as the energy fluctuates within her body. It is just a noteworthy thing we would point out. What's the question?
Your magnificent human was the phrase, and we were trying to clarify.
Yes, yes. As this one is dancing at the edge of her consciousness, it is very distracting, hard for her to hold the thoughts and the awarenesses. But yes, indeed, you're magnificent human. We would enjoy greatly giving you the explanation. And we would like to identify ourselves in this moment as Jacob, coming through and joyously participating in this discourse.
Thank you, Jacob.
When the when that energy of that statement grabbed Kelly, we wanted it to niggle at her mind to create this opportunity to bring forth a new understanding. There is the experience of the human. It is a separate thing than the spiritual self, the I am. It is a different beingness. It is the dimension that holds the personality is different than the dimension that holds the higher self. Neither is better. Do not get your judgmental brains ticking away at that. We want you to have an understanding, a very rudimentary understanding at this time, as we will build on this as we go along. But we want your brains to be working on this, that there is a separateness. Isn't exactly right, but we will use that word. There are all dimensions, many dimensions, and only one dimension. If that makes any sense at all to you. So when we say it is separate, it is also still one. Again, another one of these very, trying to find a good human term for it that will make her not feel too bad. Convoluted understandings that is very challenging for the human language and brain, quite frankly, to understand. She giggles inside at our energy because we are being a bit flippant with her at this moment. It is a fun interaction, is it not? It is. She asks if there's more we would say on this idea of the human being separate. We would say this. You are spirit. You are an extension of source energy. You are one with all the source energy. We show her the intergalactic awareness. It is all one. She asks if we, Jacob, are of the physical or non-physical, and to both we would say yes. There is an aspect of us, the energy that we are, that is in physical form, and there's an aspect that is not, as is true with all of you. And with that, I shall depart.
Thank you, Jacob.
Freaking funny. That was hilarious. That was fun. Super.
I think we learned last week that Jacob's part of Graham's spirit team or whatever, however you call it.
So, do you have any questions, Jeannie?
No, I'm just trying to take it all in, and I'm still
It's absolutely okay. You know, there's Jeannie, there's a knowing that I have that has been so helpful to me on this journey. And it's that if it is all complete and total bullshit, the biggest thread of it is to be present and to love. And that is just exactly what Jesus taught.
Yeah. No,
So,
you know, when you were talking about the sounds, what came into my mind was the word hallelujah. You know, like that's praise, but it's, you know, taking those sounds. And I'm really, you know, like resonating with everything has a sound and a frequency. I think that's pretty neat. So yeah, I'm, you know.
And in my practice with sound, when I am really like practicing it for myself, I'm alone. I'm not worried about anyone hearing me, so I can let go of all human shit. You know what I mean? when and I always, when I'm doing this, I'm always practicing moving out, moving out. And I do want to say that today was really great. I made, if we were going to quantify it, it's like I went from here to here in my distance that I was able to still participate, but also being in a very altered state at the same time. So that is, I think that is what we're, you know, part of what this is about for us all, for me, with my experience of it. There's times when it's almost like I just want to check out and just see what happens.
Mhm.
But the human in me is like, you know, you guys are out here waiting, you know, or whatever, the next thing to happen. So I'm wondering if maybe that needs to be said. That's what's, it's almost feeling like that there. And, but I also think it's part of it, because the first time that we did it and I got that whoosh of whirly, like, ugh, I'm not making sense. I know it's because so much happens all at one time. You've heard me talk about when I meditated in the beginning, being able to step into that space and see the night sky. Then when I am really letting go, it starts to rotate. Okay. So picture what that looks like. The night sky moving, rotating. And that motion is what makes me get all, you know, weird feeling. Today, I had that happen. I was able to speak, have some awareness. I'm still at the place where Kelly has to remember the question, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
I have to find that melding, because I was so out when the question happened that it's almost like they're blending it so that I can bring the question back into my mind. And I think that it just isn't, it's just time. I think that if I just sat and waited, the answer would come without me having to be aware of the question. But anyway, it's part of the journey. It's absolutely part of the journey. But boy, they really got clear today and some really good stuff around creation. They know, whoever they is, that the ability to manifest is the key to getting humans interested.
Mm. That's why Abraham and Esther are so popular, right? And that's why she's been
That's exactly right. That's why
probably one of the real.
that's why the law of attraction, is what brought people to this greater knowing,
Uh-huh.
because it was worth, because they wanted the new car, so it was worth
Mm.
attention and figuring out how to create the new car. And like they said, the Sarah thing said, people got really good at doing that. I did. I got really good at manifesting. When I found the law of attraction, Michael's back had gone to hell. We were living on my salary. My kids weren't doing great. Shit was sucking. And I got on the law of attraction train, and I just started to work on keeping my thoughts as positive as positive. Everything's coming to me. Wonderful things are coming to me. Money is coming to me. I got 2 checks in the mail, had completely unexpected, and I had been manifesting checks coming in the mail, and I wrote it in my journal, and I was able to show Michael the 2 checks. What they were from was you could make the yellow brick road for them, but I had no idea they existed. An insurance that Michael and I had when we were very first married. I didn't realize that it had turned into one of those things where the money that we'd paid in was just sort of keeping it all going. And then the company shit the bed and got done or whatever. And so those checks of that money come to us. I didn't even know that money existed. And I got two friggin' checks for like, I think it added up to almost like $7,000 or $8,000.
Just gotta write it down and manifest it. We gotta write it down in our journalgram.
And so I was able, but it's the feeling and it's the not trying. It's the feeling of, but I was able, what was good for me in mine and Michael's marriage and life together was when that happened, I dug out my journal and I read it to him. And it had a date and he could see it. And it made him, like I would say to my Michael, I just need you to not be in my way. I don't need you to help me do this, but I need you to not be in my way. And with the negative comments and the whatever, because that keeps your energy distracted. And so when you
do the same thing. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, but it's yeah, that's how, because that is how you create.
Right.
Sitting in the energy of what awesome thing. So when I think about my business, which I hate that term, but I think about my spiritual awakening and how, or if, or what it's going to look like, or blah, 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 to share it with the world. Do I think there is something coming? Am I open to it? Absolutely. Am I absolutely perfectly content right this minute? Yes. And I'm finding my way to that. I couldn't have said that a month ago. This is all new in this last month of 6 weeks. Going from being frustrated. I mean, Christ, Graham, at the beginning, I shared with you getting all friggin' tied up in my head with the money thing and whatever. That was one of the most awful, embarrassing things when I shared that with you, that I got all twirled up around that. And now the money side of it is, it's like it doesn't even exist anymore to me. The energy of that, I've been able to, I would say 90% release. We're human. Every once in a while, something will grab. When I got a jealousy flare, when she said that she met somebody who basically just opened the door to Hay House for her books, I got a little jealousy. Well, that's the putting the water on the flame of creation. When you feel jealous, you can't feel jealous and be in the energy of creation. You got to be doing the happy dance, looking at how awesome it was that it worked out just like that for her. That's so freaking cool. The energy of that will add to the energy of what's coming to me. She couldn't have figured out. It is almost impossible for a layperson to get something published through Hay House now. Hay House is just too friggin' huge and too whatever to mess with little peons like me. But who knows? She was a little peon like me. She met the right person who had the key to the door.
Right.
Who the fuck knows? And who cares?
Right.
And I go back to that thing that I said, it's a technique I use that keeps the human shit at bay. And it's, if I am absolutely out to lunch, if this is absolutely me going schizophrenic and nuts and crazy, I'm paying the price of living such a joyful, happy life. Yeah. That's the only price I'm paying. Is to love. That's my price. To be joyful in the moment. That's my price. If that's it, and I'm going to find out this is all bullshit, okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. And that helps the human treadmill, that the whatever's left, it's pretty small still for me now. It's pretty damn small, but it is still there. But that quiets that little monkey, that quiets that one little monkey out of all my happy monkeys, that one little one, it quiets that monkey down. Because so what if it is? What if it's wrong? People have led all kinds of crazinesses in their lives. And I'm gonna live this reality, and I'm gonna let it expand into whatever it's gonna be. I'm open. I'm open, and on the road to whatever it may or may not develop into, I'm going to know that the best thing is going to happen.
Well, yeah, like if it doesn't matter what's going on, like what you're saying, if I'm going nuts, whatever, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling love. And I
Right.
think that if anyone's path, as long as they follow their heart, no matter what it is, as long as the vibration of happiness and love is there, that's the only important thing. That's the basis of it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and that, I'm back in the Bible, because what you're saying just brings things, and I'm
also,
wondering about Paul. He was, like he talks about going to dimensions, and one of the verses that he's famous for is to say, I find that whatsoever circumstances I find myself in, I am content, whether I have plenty or whether I have little. I have found a way to be content in any circumstance.
that's right.
And I'm just wondering if he's been through.
I would say absolutely. That is it in a nutshell. The energy of content anticipation. Content anticipation that you can be in that energy that I'm going to say it again because it's just palpable. That night before Christmas energy, that anticipation, the what it could be, just waiting. And in the meantime, you're living a grand life and you're completely content with what is, as you're kind of watching around the corner, because and in my life, trust me, this shit is happening. I mean, there's stuff poking around the corner all the time. Something new, the sound is the next new thing. I just keep waiting. And that's like all of a sudden, I mean, can you get that singing that isn't me. That is freaking wild. Go ahead.
You jumped out, I guess, because of the experience with Jacob. You jumped out, but one of the last questions I had was to see if they had any more information for you for your next steps for sound. And then I was actually going to ask the same question for me and Graham at the same time, kind of thing, but for you mostly. But that's okay. I'm glad you thought about it again, because I want to make sure we get back to that.
I'm
So,
going to tell you that
so interesting.
it is incredible, but it deserves our practice.
Mhm.
I think that if between now and next Monday, if we all let it tell us, each sound has an angel. When
Right.
you are open and you're connecting, and the first sound is, ooh, that's the angel that wanted to come through right then.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Let
Yep.
it come, however it comes, every sound. Do I think that those 7 vowels are the only? Because when I do light language, there are twists and whatever of all. That's what language is. I mean, we're putting consonants and vowels together, making sound, and we call it words. Well, so you can also call Yazaka Okumnianataki light language. Don't know what I just said, but it's language. And it was consonants and it was vowels.
Mhm.
And it's a blend. And it's so this is what they are telling me. This is what I want to this afternoon. I want to do a video on, because I'm getting it clearer and clearer every day. When you go and you feel the vibration,
Mhm.
that's what I feel when I go and I ask for them to turn it up.
Oh, okay.
That's what I feel. Okay, so they're giving me a concrete tool to share with other humans to help them learn to identify what it is and how to deliberately do it. So when you are, and my teeth were clenched, so it was really vibrating in my skull. Feel the energy, feel the consciousness, feel it, find the outer edge of it, See if you can consciously move it in a direction. See if you can consciously move it in your body. That's it. That's it. That
You can
is
feel it tingle through you.
it is learning. It's the tingle, it's the vibration. That's how they feel. And so you're creating that for them to just slide right into. And then you just I can just feel the lift. They can ride the wave of that. And that's just the only way I can explain it. But it can be as down to earth and nuts and bolts as you take the list as we understand it, start with those 7, and this is what I did 4 or 5 days ago. And I would look at this one. Ooh, ah, ee, ooh. 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 And you just let it. You just let it. You just let it. And then you feel freaking awesome. It's like freaking drugs. It's great.
I like drugs. Graham has something, but I have something. So do you want to go first, or do you want?
Oh, I was going to just say 2 things.
Okay.
One is, and I recorded it while we were doing it. So going through the just doing whatever sounds, I was noticing because each one of us has their natural. If I just like put out my most natural note, it'd be like like that's my resonant, most natural tone that comes out. And if each one of us does like your own most natural resonant note that is naturally comes out, I was just listening to how the harmonies work with each person, and some might be like whoa 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 whoa. Some might be like whoa, whoa. So I'm wondering, you know what I'm getting at. It was just like
I don't know.
as we were doing it, Sylvia and I, there was something in a couple of the notes where it was like the little bit of the whoa, 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 and I was like, okay, I got to shift my note a little bit so that it becomes more of a vibration instead of a da, 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 da. But the only image I was getting coming through was a candle, and then when you see the candle flicker in certain parts, like I'm just wondering if that's vibration actually moving through candlelight when you're actually watching it happen.
Oh.
That was one thought. And the other one was about for my mom, through my journey of this whole thing since like it was 2011 2012 for me, right, going through the meditation vipassana. I had like the breaking open of something that things just started to make sense. I was like, oh, I get it, like I'm the joke and the punchline. I just kind of got things. And then that's when I went back, I picked up the Bible again and I started to read it and I went, oh my God, Jesus is saying the same things. He's just saying,
Exactly. Yes.
you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, he's just giving, it's like a spiritual guidebook. Hilarious. And he's talking to a bunch of people going, listen, this is how it works. You go inwards, you find it inwards, you be innocent like a kid. Truth sets you free. Be honest with yourself. He goes through the list of things. But then the funny thing is, I'm like, man, and then they turned it into so many religions, and everyone, no, he means this. No, he means this. No, he means this. And then it becomes almost not convoluted. Is that the word? Like when
Watered
you
down.
It's convoluted.
divide one message into so many different boxes, and everyone thinks they know the answers because they're in their own box saying, no, this is our aspect and this is our perspective of it. And then, it's like you just got to take away the box, listen to the word, and individualize it because each one of us has our own path into it. And I think if each one of us is an aspect of the creator, each perfect in your own perfection, because that's how we're made, is perfect for each of us, then you cannot be the lessons of somebody else can't change you or tell you what to do to find yourself. All you can do is listen to the teaching and go, thank you, I'll apply it to myself, and then find you inside you, and then find the vibration of why you're here and what part of it you are. Does that make sense? So when you're talking about Paul and you're talking about the things, I'm like, yeah, that's totally right. So they were all vibrating in this way back then, and then it's like it got lost because it becomes dogma and it becomes ritual, and then
Well,
it gets
it's an agent for controlling people.
maybe
It's,
not.
well, that's a judgment too.
I think
but
that
still.
if people teach it and don't understand it, then it becomes a dogma,
That's
right?
what I was-
The lessons are all there. That's all I mean. Like,
And there's this. When I say she, it was when the thing, but she said, it is what you focus on and the meaning you give it creates. Her guide said, what you focus on and the meaning that you give it creates, which means that every person who reads that thing from Paul and digests it into another way, that is the truth for them. It is true.
on the
Right.
level they're at.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yep.
That is their reality of it. And there's two ways of going about it. You can sit in the candy store and you can look at all the different candies and you know that they're all good and you're going to say, but I'm going to have this one. Or you can sit in the candy store and you can look at all the candies and say, those are all poison and yucky and crappy. This is the only good one. They're wanting us to sit in the candy store knowing it's all perfect. It's all delicious. It's all great. It's according, and every single person has the choice to pick which candy they want and enjoy it.
And that's why I take them all, one of everything.
One of everything. I like that. But that is, I mean, that's a simplistic thing, but that is the perspective to move forward with, you guys. And so you could say to yourself, let's just look at our candy. We don't have to understand anyone else's candy. Let's just really understand our candy well.
Yeah.
And maybe because I really feel like one of the things that they came through today, I'm going to definitely listen back, but was that the best, no, there's no judgment, there's no wrong way to spend our time. But if we are saying that our goal is to be creating our own reality, manifesting the life that we want, and living as highly vibrational beings as we can, then there is only so much time for this human. Now that we're infinite, we get as much, our consciousness is infinite, but in this lifetime, there is a finite amount of time. So our job is to figure out what's the best way. If there's a best way for Kelly, with no judgments on anybody else out there, in this moment only, because the only thing I can make any determination about is this moment. What's the best thing for me in this moment? And be able to let everything else just flow around you and be the observer